Hello and welcome to Charity's Treasures. Today's category is Recap of September, Come Follow Me. This is what I learned in September. At first, when you get rebuked from the Lord, it stings. After a while, you understand that it is out of love and that rebuke is given to you to help you be stronger and more dedicated to the Lord's work. We must learn what we are doing wrong in order to do it right. When we learn to do things the right way, we understand the process we must take to perfect our weaknesses. God understands our bigger picture, and when we trust in Him, we will not only be able to see the bigger picture, but we'll be able to be full of joy as we take the steps that lead us to the bigger picture. Eternal life and salvation are the bigger picture. We can all receive eternal life, but not all of us will receive eternal salvation unless we follow the path God is leading us to follow. Maybe we might even receive eternal salvation, but if we are afraid to follow our unique path, eternal salvation might not look like what the Lord is now offering to us. Our prophet, President Nelson, helped us learn what the bigger picture might look like as it pertains to the church and as it pertains to our own individual lives. He understood that leading us to keep our covenants and showing an outpouring of charity towards our fellow men would keep us on a path that leads to happiness, growth, and the ability to see as God sees. When we are blessed with the ability to see as God sees because we are obedient and followed through, we are then able to walk our path with confidence, strength, assurance, and faith that we made the choice and the choices that were right and not right according to the world's standards and desires, but according to God's standards and desires, which will lead to a salvation that is worth all the trouble the world will give us because of the choices we make. Those choices will not only lead us to being happy in our own individual lives, but they will have a domino effect and help others be led to a place of joy and happiness in their lives. And as this process continues, we have a world full of joy and happy people that love God and develop desires to have a happy eternal life and salvation with God and all those that love Him in heaven. The Lord may ask us to give up something in order to follow the path He has designed for us. And we may think that that something is important and would be difficult to give up, but the blessings that come from sacrifice and obedience will always outweigh whatever we think we are giving up. What I have learned after following the Lord is that it is all a test. And usually we don't even have to give up what He originally asked us to give up. Eternity is forever. Having faith leads to miracles. Faith is an action word and only can be a real action in our lives if we use it the way God designed. President Nelson's story doesn't necessarily fit the mold that the world thought it should fit. Many times he talked about how people thought he should do this or that, but he knew what the Spirit wanted him to do. And he always took action no matter how much opposition was in his way. And look at how blessed a life he was able to live, and such a long one at that. He was a great example to me of how to live my own life. If you want a unique story, you probably won't fit the world's mold. They probably won't like the decisions you make. Those people don't know you like the Lord knows you. God knows your story, and that's all you need to know and have faith in. If you listen to God, your story will come to life in a way that only you can imagine, because God has shown you what that imagination can bring to your life story. I learned that if we read the scriptures and incorporate the scriptures into our life, into our stories will be beautiful. Can you see your story coming to life? I can, and it is beautiful. I also wanted to say how much I love President Nelson, and I am so glad that he was a prophet when I was on the earth at this time, and I'm grateful for all that he did for us. And I know that he is helping the Lord in heaven, and he will be given great responsibilities. I'm also excited for President Oaks to be our new prophet, and I know that his talents and abilities were reserved for this time and place today. And so I look forward to hearing from him in this next general conference. And I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Bye, everybody.